Welcome everyone to my latest video review. I realized I didn't make a video in over a month. There's actually a reason for that. Most of you guys probably are aware, but there are two different Lunar Wolf Ranger figures, version 1 and version 2. So version 1 was an inaccurate figure. They didn't get the boots the right color, and the stripes on his chest are missing one. So Lunar Wolf is supposed to have 6 stripes, and the first version only had 5. Later on, Hasbro actually released a more accurate version where the boots are silver, the right color, and the correct amount of stripes. So when I got my Lunar Wolf figure, it was actually version 1 with all the inaccurate stuff. It completely slipped my mind. I was in the middle of making a new video review, and I just realized that, oh shoot, I don't have the right version. And I eventually got busy and I didn't know what I was going to do with this figure. And I ended up getting the accurate version. And yeah, I'm just going to show you guys a quick comparison. I thought before I return the inaccurate version, I'll do a quick video comparison so you guys can see. Although it's not really a concern right now because most retailers have the accurate version, but it's a good idea to keep an eye out on in case you stumble upon the inaccurate version. So like I mentioned here, one of the major differences are the boots. So the boots on version 1 is white, which is wrong, and the correct version has silver boots. And this figure here has 5 stripes. So let me see if I can do a close-up so you guys can see. Yeah, it doesn't look like my camera wants to focus in, I'm not sure why. It looks like it's almost going to focus, but then it doesn't. Try one more time, if not, unfortunately it's a no-go. But there are these gold stripes. I don't know if you guys can tell. I wish I could really do a close-up so I can show you guys. Okay, there we go. I think it almost focused in. Oh, there we go, almost. Yeah, so these little gold stripes here, they're supposed to be 6. On the inaccurate figure, there's actually 5. I don't know if I'll be able to show it here. So, yeah, there's 5 here. I'm really sorry for my camera here. I don't know what's going on. And the accurate figure actually has 6 of those stripes. But overall, everything else is the same. You get the same weapons, the same effect piece, same hand add-ons, and the civilian face is pretty much the same. Although, with that said, I prefer the helmet on my inaccurate figure because it feels like the visor on this figure here, it's a lot more fatter, and also the teeth on the bottom half is not painted properly. The boxes, the two versions are pretty much the same. They didn't change anything about them, not that I thought that they would. And they have the same stance on the back with Lunar Wolf. It's weird because a lot of the times the figures featured on the back here show them with the accurate paint job and everything, and I don't know what happens when it goes into production. I don't know, like, if this is done on computer and these are not released figures that are on the back, but I mean that would at least explain why the actual figure looks different. But yeah, so that's the case of the 2 different Lunar Wolf figures. I just thought I'll show it off to you guys. And also the Merrick head is the same as well. So here I have both figures side by side. They're pretty much the same figure except for the differences that I pointed out earlier. And something I noticed, which is weird, and it's kind of hard to tell in this video, but the helmet or the visor in the new accurate figure, there's a bigger gap there versus the visor on the inaccurate figure, and the helmet also looks slightly bigger, which is kind of weird. Let me see if I can show you guys a close-up so you guys can tell. I don't know if it's noticeable for you guys, but this figure here, the helmet or the visor has a bit of more of a gap than this inaccurate figure here. And I thought they didn't color in the bottom teeth, but they did. It's very faint. It's not as good as this figure here. This figure here from far, you can even tell that they painted it. This one right here, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to drop it there. But, sorry, let me try to get this to stand. I do love these lightning figures. They barely stand and love to give a lot of issues. This one, it almost looks like it's not painted. I don't know what's going on there. But overall, it's pretty much the same figure. And I think I'll be swapping out the helmets. I really love this helmet over this one here. And that's pretty much it for the differences. I actually checked out the figure thoroughly and I couldn't tell what else was different in this figure. And for accessories, they came with this Lunar Cube. There's two modes. There's one where it's extended, and there's one that's retracted with the handle poking out like so. Also came with the effect piece. I feel like this one is a recycled effect piece because it looks very familiar. And here's the Merrick head. They did an amazing job on Merrick. He looks just like Merrick. I love it. And you have two new hands. It's pretty cool. It's from Power Rangers Wild Force, when they were able to retract or extend their claws. It's really cool. And articulation is pretty much the standard articulation. I'll show you. Legs side to side, up and down. You can do like a 360 movement up here. The knee, you can move it too. Sometimes it's stiff, it's a new figure. You have double jointed knees. The arms, you can move it side to side, up and down. You can rotate the glove or the whole hand. You can even rotate the helmet, or you can go up and down. You also have like the chest articulation. So that's pretty much the standard articulation you have there. I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's holding the weapon. And one thing that they still got wrong on this figure is that they didn't include the holster that the figure is supposed to come with. They left that out. I mean, at least it's not a huge issue. It's not like the silver boots being white, but if they were trying to release a more accurate figure, at least they could have included the holster. Which is weird because the Lightning Collection Red Dino Fury figure actually comes with the holsters. I think they got it wrong. I'm not sure what happened there. So yes, by far this figure is the best. I mean, if it had the holster and a much nicer looking helmet, it would have been perfect. Here's what Merrick looks like. He looks amazing. I love his head sculpt. They did an amazing job on him. And yeah, I love how Merrick's hair looks very similar to Andros, because you also have the dark hair with the blonde streaks. It's really awesome. Like, I noticed Hasbro really can pull very accurate looking Ranger heads. Not sure why some of them they can't get it correctly, but this one they did a great job. That's what it looks like. one thing I noticed, I don't know if it's just mine, but the head just does not go on and off very easily. I mean, you can remove it easily, but putting the human head on is not easy. But the ranger head goes on really easily. Like I barely even struggled. So let's get all of this out of the way and let's do some comparisons. Bandai only released one more version of this figure after the original 2002 release. That was during Power Rangers Super Mega Force, where they released all the Red Rangers and 6th Rangers and Special Rangers for the Lunar Wolf figure. So he only ever had 2 releases. However, I only have the original Bandai version. I don't have the 2002 version. The Super Mega Force version was 2002 is the original version. I mean, I never cared whenever they released the Red or the 6th Ranger. For me, I'm a completist. Give me the whole team or not at all. So this is the 2002 version. Those figures that they released back in Power Rangers Wild Force, they were like those awful action feature Ranger figures. The reason I call them awful is because action feature figures have the bare minimum articulation. Like let's take this figure for instance. This hand is stuck in this position. You can move it up, down. Yes, you can move this a little bit like so. Well, it's actually coming apart. My figure, I should be careful. And yeah, and this hand stuck in this position. You can't really do anything but move it. The head, I guess you can move it a little bit. I'm just going to move this figure all the way back so it's leaning on my background there. Okay, here we go. And then you can move the legs. That's it. You can't really do anything much. And the figure looks terrible just standing. I never cared for action feature figures. And one thing to note is the old Bandai figure is just a gray color. There's no metallic, silver, or anything. So yeah, this was not really a great figure to begin with. And I'm not going to give it a pass because it was 2002, because we got Titanium Ranger and the Silver Space Ranger that had metallic silver, which was way before this one, so it's not an excuse. But for its time, it's a decent looking figure, minus all that articulation. And yeah, mine, it does look like it's coming apart, not sure why. I guess the age has gotten to it. And you have this ugly button that's sticking out from the back. So that's what the 2 figures look like. I mean, I'm not gonna push one figure over the other because this is a premium collector's figure, while this is like a basic figure. But the basic figure, the $10 figure, got it correct the first time around. So props for that. They got the correct boots. They got the, the holster. They got the correct amount of stripes. Although the stripes are a bit weird on this figure because the stripes aren't consistent with the width. The width is all over the place. I wish I could do a close-up, but my camera just does not want me to do a close-up. And I got this figure loose, so I don't have like the weapons that it came with. But I believe it came with a little small lunar Q and a really big lunar Q, which I thought I had, but I guess not. Let me actually check. I think I do have the big lunar Q. Okay, yeah, I lied. I actually don't have it on me. But yeah, so those are the 2 variations of the Lunar Wolf figure. I mean, yeah, Wild Force really didn't get too much representation. I'm hoping we'll get more Wild Force. I think we are supposed to, because Wave 12 is supposed to have Max the Blue Wild Force Ranger. I think they did release pictures of him too, so that's going to be exciting. So yeah, so those are the comparison shots. So what's my verdict on this figure? The final judgment. I love this figure. The Lunar Wolf Ranger Gauss Silver. He was my favorite out of all the Rangers. I loved his helmet, the blue, the navy and the silver. It's amazing. I know, like, there's the hassle of the inconsistent figure and then having to get the figure that's more consistent and accurate. I know there's that, but hey, at least they didn't just leave it at that. They realized their mistake and released a more accurate version, even though it's annoying. So I had to go through the steps of getting a more accurate version. It's a really good representation. They gave us a really amazing Merrick head. He looks just like Merrick, and yeah, they did a great job on this figure. And if it had the holster, it would have been perfect, because I'm all about figures looking accurate. But if we're doing like a 1 out of 10, I would definitely give it an easy 7 or a 8, probably 7, because you can see some of the paint bleeding onto the figure. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to show you guys, but the gold on his cuff here, you can tell a little bit of gold has bleeded into the navy right there. And also the helmet, the stuff that I pointed out on the helmet is a little bit inaccurate. If it wasn't for those little paint issues, like, definitely this figure would have been up there. And it would have been a perfect 10 without the paint issues and if it had the holster. Now for pricing, I don't know how it is in the US. I know the price for Lightning figures has gone up, at least here in Canada. They used to be like $30. Now it's $32. And yeah, so that's gone up. And I think Toys R Us in Canada is charging $39.99, but I don't think this is available in Toys R Us yet. But for Canadians, I do not suggest purchasing them from Toys R Us. You can find them in GameStop or Walmart. Go for it. As far as the two versions go, you guys should be fine, because from what I gather, most stores in the US, I don't know about Canada, harbor the correct version, so you should be fine. But yeah, if you see the one with the white boots, I wouldn't get it, because you don't want to end up getting it and then eventually regret your decision. Just wait till you find the right one. If you have no other way of getting it, do what I did. Get it from HasbroPulse.com. And do not order yours from GameStop.ca, because that's where I got my first version. And of course, you can tell that had the incorrect boots and all that stuff. Luckily, I contacted Hasbro and they told me they'll take it back and issue me a refund. So yeah, that's my video review. And I did end up getting the pink Dino Charge Ranger. I'm gonna do a separate video review on her, because we have a lot of Dino Charge figures, so it's gonna take a little bit to review, because I want to show you guys all the different Dino Charge figures together and all that. But yes, thank you so much for tuning in, and I guess you can say that was the case of the two Lunar Wolf Ranger figures. And as always, please like, subscribe, comment. It really does help. Thank you and have a wonderful day.